Hello everybody, this is Sarah Toriari here, and what we'll be going over today is a quick guide for everyone's favorite murderous bachelorette, Nex. For our setup here, I'll be using full Armadyl with an obnoxious longbow, a 6th Age circuit, Saradomin's Murmur, a ranged Kiln Cape, as well as an illuminated Book of Law for extra DPS during Blood Phase. For your inventory, I strongly suggest using Overload's potions because Nex uses stat draining attacks. I bring 3 Saradomin Brew flasks to use when taking out minions so I can keep my adrenaline up. I also bring 3 to 4 Super Restore flasks because you definitely don't want to run out of prayer at the end of the fight. For abilities, we'll be using these right here. If you want to pause it and check them out, we'll also be using Onslaught, which is very important for the beginning of Blood Phase. Without further ado, let's jump on in and get started. At the beginning of the fight, I like to position myself here because it helps you manage the first mechanic that you deal with. If you want to leech a little bit of adrenaline off my boy Fumus here, you can definitely do that as well. Other than that, we're just going to start by hitting our potions, praying magic, and she'll come right to you. If you time this right, you can get a nice little auto attack in here right before I use Corruption Blast. You'll notice Corruption Blast is not in my Revolution because you want to be careful with when and how you use bleeds throughout this fight. The first major mechanic you'll deal with in Phase 1 is when she says, "There is no escape." Because if she catches you in one of the center crosses of the arena when she does that charge, she'll hit you for upwards of 5,000 typeless damage, which is no bueno, so we're not going to do that. Sometimes during Phase 1, Nex will catch you out in the streets with somebody else and she'll drag you out of your spot and knock off your protection prayer. All you gotta do is use Freedom, eat some food, and throw your prayer back on when you can. Once you get Nex down to 160,000 health, you can take the homie Fumus out of the picture, and then when you attack her again, we will move into Phase 2, which is Shadow Phase, and for this we will switch to Praying Ranged. The main thing you want to watch out for during Shadow Phase is when she says, because she will spawn a dark shadow underneath you, and if you don't move off of it, you will be hit for upwards of 6,000 damage, which is also not great, so we're going to avoid doing that as well. The next thing that she'll do shortly into Shadow Phase is she will embrace darkness, which makes the entire arena darker. Sometimes she'll hit you with another shadow right away. And what you'll want to do for the rest of this phase is keep your distance from Nex because she starts getting clingy, and if you spend too much time in cuddle distance with her, she starts using you as an emotional crutch and sapping your life away pretty rapidly. Like a bad girlfriend or student loans. Anyway, I like to use this run and gun technique where you use short abilities while keeping your distance, and you'll want to do this until you notice she's attacking from a distance, which is when you know she's not trying to cuddle anymore. Once you get her down to 120,000 health, you can take out the Home Slice Umbra. Just keep in mind she may try to cuddle with you during this time, and you are going to want to maintain that healthy distance, mostly because you don't want to spend too much time close to somebody who's just trying to milk you dry. I like to use Saradomin Brews when you're taking out Umbra, so you can keep your health up without sacrificing adrenaline. Moving on into Blood Phase, you're going to want to stop attacking her during the Siphon, switch back to Praying Magic, and activate your Book of Law. If you attack her during a Siphon, she will heal for all the damage you deal to her, and any bleeds you use during Blood Phase will heal her as well. Right when her Siphon animation ends is when you're going to use Onslaught. This is where you're going to do the majority of your damage to her right at the beginning of Blood Phase. The next thing she's going to do is demand a blood sacrifice, and we're going to deal with this by eating to stop the onslaught, surging away from her, and as you're passing, you're going to right click her so that you can attack again right as soon as your surge lands. After she does 3 auto attacks, she will do another Siphon, and you want to stop attacking her again. I like to use Freedom and Anticipation, or any combination of 2 abilities on a Reaver or something, to gain a little bit of adrenaline, because that's how long it takes her to stop siphoning. Then you can jump back on your DPS with Thresholds. After 3 more auto attacks, she'll demand another blood sacrifice. It's when you surge and get right back on attacking her. If you time this right with adrenaline, even with eating, you should be able to hit rapid fire right away. Getting through Blood Phase with 1 or 2 siphons is good work. I'd say don't get discouraged if it takes you a few more. Keep up the strategy, and once you get her down to 80,000 health, you can take down that bloody fool, Kruor. One thing you'll notice is my Book of Law didn't activate during Blood Phase, which means I got through Blood Phase all on my own. One little tip here, after you take out Kruor, is to wait until she demands another blood sacrifice. That way she won't immediately put you in a Russian prison for relationship fraud. Instead, she'll start with an ice containment, which you can avoid by moving away from her enough that she moves too. But inevitably, you will find yourself in a Russian gulag. Now this is where you might ask yourself, how did I get here? What is happening? I knew she was crazy when she showed up on the first date with 4 dudes. And then you realize, wait a minute, I have freedom. And just as you think you're scot-free, she sends you a lovely gift. Boom, I'm pregnant. But really, there are a few ways to deal with this, least exhausting of which is you realize you deserve to be here for what you did and you tank the hit. Use freedom or anticipate your incarceration and eat up past max health, and as soon as the ice hits, eat again and put on magic prayer again immediately. The other option, if you have a side chick, is to have her post your bail by clicking on the icicles, because I'm pretty sure that's how you get out of a gulag, but I don't know, because I've never been in one. Next, often tries to sneak up on you and put her icy feet on your back for the ice containment, but if you surge away from her right as she's doing the animation, you can leave her behind. This is helpful when you get her down to 40,000 health, as you can now go take care of her last bodyguard, Glacies, without her harassing you. When you return, upon attacking her, Nex will be exceedingly aggravated by everything you've done and will hit much harder, as well as use Deflect from Melee and Soul Split. Just keep your health above 3k and DPS her all the way down. Don't forget to move away from her when she dies, because she will go for a Beyond the Grave achievement and hit you for 5k with her Wrath Curse if you're close to her. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to make some runes today, and I'll see you next time.